Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate you joining us for this installment of the Pelican Post Game Report, coming at you, family, on this Tuesday, man. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate you on this special stream. Then we covering the Sports Illustrated Zion Williamson, quote, dark days, end quote, article reaction. We're going to cover the whole article. We're going to start from the top to the bottom. We're going to get through the whole thing and run this thing. So we're going to, start that way. We're gonna cover some other Pelicans news as well in this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report, coming at you, fam. So appreciate y'all. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share of the shows with the rest of the diehard flock family members out there. We're getting popping on this one. Now, this one, fam, is a very in-depth article about the time when Zion Williamson was struggling, coming out that thing on this side. You can see he's enlightened, but all the stuff that he was going through during that period of time was very interesting, and we're going to talk about it in this episode of Pelican Post Game Report. I'm Big Q. We got my co-host DC in the building, and I got a special gift for y'all today. DC gonna be dropping some nuggets in there. He gonna read this entire article from the top to the bottom, so kind of get yourself nice and comfortable. Get you a couple of martinis and drinks, because DC reads a little slow, but DC gonna read this article from the top to the bottom. So without further ado, DC, welcome to the stream, bro. You the man. I know you just flew straight on in from the islands, bro. We ready to rock on this article and read it when you ready.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? My volume good? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I want you to hear this loud and clear. I ain't reading that damn article. You know that. You the one with the silky smooth vocals, bro. Them people don't want to hear me reading for 7 minutes.
DC, listen, bro. You won a Grammy as a reggae
artist. A Grammy? That's singing, though. It's not reading.
You can sing.
You like the reading rainbow guy, but you got like the voice of like Barry Gordy. You know what I mean?
Barry.
You put them together. You put Barry Gordy. No, you ain't that deep. Come on, don't flatter yourself.
Barrett
Barry
Gordy,
Gordy,
the leader of Motown, the creator of Motown.
smooth as the other side of the pillow. There
Okay,
you
I
go.
hate DC. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
You got that.
But
And
DC,
then you got and you was an avid watcher of the Reading Rainbow, bro. You read a little faster than me, bro.
well, bro, they had the Reading Rainbow down in Jamaica, bro. I mean, LeVar
Nah,
Burton, I think.
they ain't had the Reading Rainbow down in Jamaica, Q. That was an American show.
Okay. Okay. All right, anyway. All right, let's get it cooking. And I tried to get DC to read, fam. DC doesn't want to read. He doesn't want to read, can't force him to read. So anyway, shout out to Howard Beck, man. He
What's
wrote this
up, family?
for
And
Sports
Howard
Illustrated.
Beck.
Beck did a
Go ahead, bro. Go
fantastic
ahead. You
job.
got it. You
So
got it.
let's get into it. And then we're gonna talk about some Pelican news. The Pelicans did make some signings that happened. We're gonna cover that too after we get through this article. So
Some
without
shocking
further ado,
signings, huh? When it comes to the squadron.
yeah, a couple of things. All right, so let's get into it. Zion Williamson 2.0 inside quote unquote the dark days that sparked the WNBA, the WNBA, the NBA star stunning transformation. After a broken foot erased his entire season, Williamson was lost, wondering if he'd ever play basketball again. But the Pelicans phenom putting that work, both physically and mentally, and he's ready to show the world what he's made of. And this is a very in-depth article. So, family, we're gonna cover the whole thing. Usually, I don't do this, but this is have a lot of vital information. What happened between that time frame with Zion? He's being quite candid in this article, so let's cover it. All right, so it's 6:14 a.m. on a late summer day in the track at Florida Atlantic University is shrouded in darkness, save for the faint beams of light bouncing from the waistbands of three joggers, dutifully logging their steps before the world awakens.
Come on, don't start reading like me now.
Thoroughly, DC, chill out, man. Oblivious to the athletic marvel in their midst. Quote, I can clock 60, end quote, boost the voice in the darkness. And then he's gone, a hulking silhouette slicing through the pre-dawn shadows. As you can see, it's quite dramatic. They ain't ready for you, barks another voice. They ain't ready for you. Less than 60 seconds later, Zion Williamson is back where he started, darting across an invisible finish line, having easily beaten his goal for the last quarter-mile dash of the morning. That's elite. An enthusiast third voice, his stepfather and coach, Lee Anderson, is an important marker for the young Pelican star as he makes his way back from a broken right foot and a lost season. It's a remarkable feat for anyone, period, but the South Florida sun won't rise for another 49 minutes on that September morning, and the joggers and late arriving soccer players have no idea of what they just missed. The only real witness are Williams' personal trainer and a few family members and a reporter. And this is the cover for the article from Sports Illustrated, A Man on a Mission. All right, so quote, personally, haven't seen a guy with this size at the NBA level with this type of speed, end quote, says the trainer Jasper Bibbs as the group strolls back to the FAU gym to finish the morning workout. Quote, there's some guards that don't hit those times. End quote, adds Bibbs, who previously spent 5 years with the Jazz. Even more encouraging that Williamson's hit that time after he had already run a mile and a half as a warm-up. I personally haven't seen a guy with this size. Well, I already read that. Let me go back. Had there been little daylight, here's what everyone else on the track would have seen: a swift, sculpted 6'6" tower of a muscle streaking down the straightaways like a superstar's Usain Bolt. For real, this Zion Williamson is noticeably more contoured than the Zion Williamson who last appeared on an NBA court on May the 4th of 2021. Still brawny and stout, yes, but seemingly much closer to his college weight of 285 than the estimated 300 plus pounds he carried through the
Man ain't never
2020
weighed no
21 season.
300 pounds, man. He be lying.
DC, please. It's been the 3 years since Williamson seized the NBA spotlight, a uniquely bound blend of power and grace, a can't-miss superstar. Number one pick with the charisma to match his talent. On the court, he dazzles with that kind of devastating efficiency, 25.7 points a game on 60% shooting. That's ridiculous. That would rank him among the all-time greats, except he has only played in 85 games over the last 3 years due to injuries. We haven't seen Zion soar for 17 months, leaving the world to wonder, is he still the prince that was promised or just the phantom passing through the twilight? What will he be when he at last takes the court again on October the 9th in Brooklyn? Quote, they're going to see that I have matured off the court and on the court, end quote, says Williamson, who's 22, says following a late breakfast at the 6,000 square foot waterfront rental in Fort Lauderdale. Quote, they're going to also, he says, they're also going to see that my game has evolved. I'm going to show the world things I haven't had my arsenal that I didn't show before. End quote. That's a lot. So what we'll see soon see, he says, is Zion transformed mentally, physically, and after the most torturous year of his life, a fractured right foot, followed by surgery, a setback, and perpetual cascade of criticism and scorn from fans and pundits. We knew quite a lot of what they were saying about Zion Williamson, to be honest with you, because a lot of the flock was hurling insults at him.
Come
We
on
had
now,
to kind of back
this
that down.
article long enough.
Zion, shut up, DC. Zion is out of shape, they said, albeit much harsher terms. Zion isn't committed to the game. Zion isn't committed to New Orleans. Zion is detached from his teammates. All that. We had to defend all that. The physical recovery was hard enough. The negativity was suffocating. I was in a dark place at times, Williamson said, because I couldn't play basketball. I could only do limited rehab things. And then just seeing how the world reacted, it took a lot. He said, it did a lot on my spirit. Outwardly, he's in the best shape of his career, though he greets questions about weight, body fat, and other metrics with just a sprawling smile. He's pleased, yes, but Team Zion isn't ready to disclose specifics on this day, not with another 3 weeks of work before reporting a training camp. I'm not done yet, Williamson says. Not done, he means, with the 2-a-day workouts that begin here in August the 3rd, nor with a disciplined new diet as a prescribed by a personal chef, Chef Lewis, known simply as Chef JD. Williamson gulps water from a 2-gallon thermos throughout the day, having eschewed all of the other beverages. Soon enough, Williamson will seek to reclaim his role as one of the game's premier showmen, a high-flying, rim-wrecking nuclear reactor, except he's now returning to the Pelicans team that made the playoffs without him, with a new coach, an overhauled roster, a star wing in BI, and a star playmaker in CJ McCollum. So much has changed in the 17 months that Zion was away. But then he says, so has he. I've grown, he said. I've learned a lot about myself, learned more about the game. So while the rest of us might view this season as revenge tour or remember me campaign, Zion himself sees it as more of a gauge of just how far he's come, how he's recovered and rebuilt and evolved in those 533 days between his last game and his next one. At his emotional nadir, as the doubts and denigration, I hope I said that right, denigration grew increasingly toxic. Denigrate. I'm sorry. There you go, DC Project. I'm sorry, it kind of messed up on me. Increasingly toxic, Williamson retreated to the Pacific Northwest and unwittingly stoked the very fire he was trying to escape. It was January, and Williamson had decided to continue his rehab at Nike's bucolic campus just outside of Portland in Beaverton, Oregon. He would spend 2 months there. He did so with the blessings of Pelicans officials. Indeed, it was an executive vice president, David Griffin, who first suggested a change of scenery, but the news only triggered more backlash, fueling public perceptions of a divide between Williamson and the franchise, Williamson in New Orleans, Williamson and his teammates. The truth was far more troubling. The setback Williamson suffered in early December tests showed regression in the healing of his broken foot. Had crushed his spirit. I was rehabbing, he says, and in my mind, I'm thinking, man, in 2 weeks, I'm about to play again, and then I didn't. And the criticism had turned nastier, falling on the shoulders of his mom, his stepdad, and his brother, Noah, who was just he says, to see it affecting my family. It weighed on me, Williamson said. An 8-year-old having to deal with stuff like that, being asked questions that he don't fully understand yet. That's a lot. It bothers me that people would even do that to him. Williamson later added, I felt helpless. I couldn't do anything about it. While pundits are telling me I don't care about my teammates, or I'm a bad teammate, or I don't want to be somewhere the whole time, I'm worried about my foot. I'm worried about, man, I hope my foot heals right, because if it doesn't, who knows, I may not get to play basketball again. The toll grew so heavy that Williamson could hardly mask the strain. After a home game one night, as he walked off the Smoothie King Center, he ran into a Pelicans assistant coach, Miss Teresa Witherspoon, a close friend and confidant. He says, hey, are you okay? She asked. No, Williamson replied, I'm not. And when he said no, he just fell into my arms, Witherspoon says. A long conversation followed, part counseling session, part prep talk, unconditional support mixed with moments of tough love, and many tears shed along the way. At that most vulnerable moment, it was important for me to let him know that he's a great young man. He's worthy of those things that you work for, says Witherspoon, the former WNBA star and Hall of Famer. I could see a young man fighting to find his way, had lost all sense of direction. I just wanted to reach out at that moment and let him know I didn't care about the basketball. I cared about what he was feeling and what he was thinking, how different were things for him at that moment. She adds, I didn't want him to feel alone. When I tell you there was some dark days for the young man, there was some dark days. It was much bigger than basketball. At that point, you didn't want to lose. You didn't want to lose a young man. That's what Teresa is saying. Now, it was just one of many such discussions along the way as Williamson worked to repair both his body and his psyche. On one day at a time, he leaned hard on the 56-year-old Witherspoon. She's like my big sister, and assistant coach Corey Brewer, my people for life, as well as my family and his faith. On Witherspoon, Williamson says she saved me from so many kind of like mental breakdowns. When you see somebody cry for you because of what you're going through, she cried for me. She didn't have to do that. And just seeing that made me realize, wow, I really have somebody special in my corner. With the emotional support came a consistent theme. Your success, your health, your happiness are all up to you. All those worries about Williamson's fitness, his maturity, his commitment. It's clear the Pelicans had them too. As Witherspoon frequently tells him, the things that you desire in this game are in life, period. It's what you put into it. If you have to put in, he said, but you have to put in. You have to make deposits. You can't take something out if you haven't deposited. You haven't invested in it. A healthier, more serene Zion returned to New Orleans in early March in time to cheer on the Pelicans. Late season renaissance sparked by the midseason trade of CJ. The Pels won 13 of their final 25 regular season contests, ousted the Spurs, ousted the Clippers in the play-in tournament, and briefly rattled the Suns in the first round before falling in 6 cheating ass games. I had to add that little part myself. The Smoothie King Center it says moribund or empty for much of Williamson's career due to the C virus was rocking. That was special. Williamson said, lighten up the recollection. I remember sitting on the bench, even though I was sitting still, I felt like my blood was racing, like I was playing out there. I haven't felt that thrill, a crowd being like that since my rookie year. And man, it was something to witness. Then he laughed, recalling all of the rumors about his wanderlust. People really out here think that I could witness something like that and then tell myself I don't want to be there. McCollum's arrival in February via a trade with Portland that also included Larry Nance Jr. and cost the Pelicans only role players and draft picks had spurned another minor controversy when former Pelicans guard and ESPN analyst J.J. Redick revealed Williamson had not reached out to his teammate. Remember, we kind of bust his ass
He's
on that.
He's a detached teammate. I need more views.
We bust his ass on that. Detached Reddit called him, echoing concerns that he had been filtering through the organization for some time, but McCollum and Williamson would later connect, sharing several dinners and some extended conversations about work habits, nutrition, hydration, sleep, just being a professional. McCollum says, I think he's appreciated. He said, I think he appreciated my candor. In the brief time as teammates, McCollum says he's seen Zion, who is very active, very engaged, very involved, very cognizant of what's going on out there. But he also understands that the onus is on him now, McCollum says, to do the things the right way, to continue to eat the right way, to do the work the right way. I think he's at that stage now where he's taking responsibility for his actions, all of which echoes what Witherspoon herself conveyed to Williamson. The change has to come, and the change has to come from him, and he knew that. So there are some basic basketball challenges to sort out now. DC, mute your mic. I'm getting echo, bro. Challenges to sort out now with Williamson joining McCollum and Ingram about roles and playmaking and pecking orders, about touches and usage rate. But the chemistry comes only true at the time, and the Pelicans seem confident about the road ahead of their potential to make noise in the West. Williamson says he's thrilled to have the two elite scorers to share the load and more shooters on the roster than he's had since arriving in New Orleans. The best version that he can give us, McCollum says, of Williamson will be the best version of our team. What's up with Zion? A young girl asks, a touch of concern in her voice is as if speaking for millions of fans who are wondering where he's been, now how he's doing, and what he'll look like when he reemerges. His trainings he's training underwater. A young boy responds excitedly, "Yeah, he's coming for everybody next year." Well, not exactly, but you can't blame the Jordan brand marketing team for having fun with the mystery of it all in the recent series of ads for Zion 2 shoe. Williamson has rarely been seen or heard in the last 17 months outside their July the 6th press conference to announce a contract extension worth at least $193 million. A deal that sources confirm includes weight and body fat requirements. The what, where, when, and how of Williamson's recovery are topics he prefers to keep private, which are partially explained. Was partially explains his 2 month stay in Portland, Fort Lauderdale. I don't think he said I don't like people to. He said I don't like to know my next. I don't like people to know my next move. He says, nor does he want to reveal anything about his training, his diet, his weight, his sprint times, or the skills he's been quietly honing in all these months off the radar. He says, I'm one of those people that I like to show you more than I tell you, because I feel like when I tell it, doesn't even feel humble at all. So here he claps for emphasis. I have to show the world. And though he won't divulge his weight, Williamson jokes that he wouldn't mind the number leaking as a counterpoint to the whispers of him once weighing 330 pounds. When I step on the scale, when we start training camp, I wonder if there's going to be any rumors about that, he says, laughing. The more Williamson reflects, the more amped the sounds, and soon he is naming everyone who made the journey with him as if he were on stage at the Oscars. He thanks Anderson and Bibbs for the training, Chef JD for his diet, the main keys to why I look the way I look, why I feel as great as I do, thanks to the friends, Axel and Phil Holmes and Khalid Falk for supporting him through his workouts and sometimes participating in them. Everybody's played some kind of part, he says, but what is this journey was about, then he says, but what this journey was about that I'm currently down in Fort Lauderdale was to test my love of the game. So we got a few more paragraphs and then we'll get through this thing. There's nothing about Zion that seems detached or disengaged on this day. He smiles often, laughs frequently, and speaks candidly, alternating between moments of somber reflection and bursts of unbridled enthusiasm, always finishing on a positive note. It was a long, tedious process, he says, before quickly adding, but it's nothing but excitement, just pure joy and love for the game I get to return to. It calls to mind a quote from Stan Williams, the Pelicans strength coach, who often told Zion during his recovery, look, it only makes the story better. He says, it first struck Zion as corny, but he came to embrace it. I really like that, he says. Like, if I can really come back from this, right, this could be something crazy. It's 5:20 in the morning, a.m., on the early September morning when two black SUVs pull up to the back door of the FAU arena, delivering Williamson, Bibbs, and Anderson, along with Zion's mom, Sharonda, Sampson, Noah, and a small group of friends and assistants, including on this day his barber for a Sports Illustrated photo shoot. This has been Williamson's routine every day since Team Zion decamped to Fort Lauderdale, rising at 4:50 a.m., arriving at FAU a half hour later for morning conditioning session with Bibbs, followed by basketball drills with Anderson. The time is deliberate, designed to get them out by 7:45 before the women's volleyball team takes over the gym and to hopefully avoid detection by curious onlookers. The morning workout is often followed by a 30-minute spin session at the Hot Works, a combo fitness center sauna with the room's thermostat cranked up to 130 degrees to burn extra calories. Then comes a breakfast from Coach JD, afternoon nap, he says afternoon nap, an early dinner, and finally another round of training and drills in the evening at the Southeastern. Williams Day concludes at 9 p.m. The skies are dark again. The time for spotlights and highlights. And remember me, jackhammer dunks will be here soon enough. A time to show instead of tell. But Zion 2.0 says none of this really matters to him, at least not in the way we expected. He says, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I definitely would have said, yeah, I need to remind people. I need to show the world who Zion is, he says. But now after this journey, it's not even so much about showing the world who I am. It's more just proving myself, right? 6 years ago, a 16-year-old Zion Williamson tweeted a 6-word vow, I'm going to shock the world. A sentiment that subtly seems apt for a 22-year-old Zion Williamson in a way he never could have envisioned. The path has been more twisted, more painful than he could ever have known. But then it just makes the story better. And that's the article. Shout out to Howard Beck. He did a fantastic job. He did a fantastic job in writing this article. Is very it's just a long ass article. I need to get a man a raise for writing it. Shout out to him and covering this because this was good, man. This just gave us a brief insight of Zion Williamson, man, going through all of the stuff that he went through during the injury. So DC, you can unmute, spam. You can unmute your mic. Let's get on up into it and talk about the Zion stuff right here, man. We finally made it to you. Now, listen, we'll still be reading this article if my dog DC was reading it, but that's nor here or there.
Hey, you hit a lot of speed bumps along the way. Now, don't this ain't really your shining moment to try to take some pops at me with this one, bro.
But
I'm gonna give you a pass. You had to read for a long time, bro. It's a little difficult. I was clocking you, bro. You took about damn near 10 minutes, but
well, you would have took 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and break it down. What you think?
Man, first off, shout out to what's that guy's name? Beck. What did you say his name was?
Howard Beck.
Howard Beck, Mr. Howard Beck. That's a really good article, man. Very insightful, very detailed, and kind of a deeper look into what was going on with Zion to point out a lot of things me and you have talked about, man. We knew it was all BS, a lot of the stories. And, I've heard things behind the scenes, just hearing about people connected to Zion about nothing like what they put in this article, but I knew he wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying? He was having a hard time with his injury. And, when you mess up a foot, your knee, your ankle, different things like that, man. And, Zion's probably a guy that likes to eat, but I'm pretty sure he's really, really active. And you go from not being able to have that activity, you're going to put on weight. Like that's just how it is. I mean, I think a lot of times we forget how young Zion was, and everybody's sitting up there judging him, engaging this or that. What the hell was you doing at 20 years old, man? 21. What were you eating? You know what I mean? Like it's still an adjustment period coming into the NBA. I always thought a lot of things with this kid was unfair. People expected him to just come in and be a perfect professional, and that doesn't happen with any of those guys. But, everybody doesn't, I guess, deal with weight problems and different things like that. They have other levels of things they deal with, levels of immaturity, mistakes, or what have you. But it's very insightful, man, to hear what's going on. And this has me really, really amped for the season. A lot of things going on. I kind of was putting 1, 2, and 2 together, but to hear how Zion is speaking about it, the quiet confidence he has, I'm curious to see, these aspects of the game he been working on and honing that he ain't showed before. You know what I mean? Because he showed us a lot. So he's telling us, and there's more. So I want to see what that is, man. But this right here, I think, is a perfect opening piece to the season to get people excited. This right here is an introduction to the rest of the world, to those of us who aren't in the flock, who I guess have lost faith in Zion, who goes along with that crowd that maybe Zion is a bust. All the idiots out there that he was talking about that was saying different things to his brother, who's an 8-year-old, probably asking him if he gonna be back out on the court. Your brother's a bust. You know how relentless people can be. This is a good article, man, to highlight a lot of that, to tell his story on a national stage. I mean, it would be real interesting if they could do like maybe a small piece. We have like the pregame and you do the breakdowns. I'm hoping they kind of cover this a little bit and maybe add a visual of him working out, or maybe interviews, or him saying some of the stuff before the game, man. I think that would be a real good idea. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And after watching his interviews too during the preseason, Zion, based on what we're reading in this article, has probably stepped his game up to another level. We see it defensively from what he's been doing. I've been seeing him more concerned about his teammates. Every time they put a microphone in front of him, he's always talking about how great his teammates are, how he's so excited for what they can do. You know what I'm saying? All the time, knowing that he even took his game to another level too. So I mean, we've called it here. This is gonna be a special season. We're gonna be in for a ride, man. And I'm not putting any limitations on what the Pelicans can do. When you're hearing these type of things and the type of dedication that this young man has, and he's finally got all the nonsense out of the way, which a Zion with the nonsense in the way is giving you 27 points at 60% shooting. That's crazy. So you mean to tell me he going through all this, or he was out of shape, or not doing things the right way when he was on the court? He gives you 27 points and 60% shooting. Man, I'm excited like hell. Q, to see what the hell that look like when he doing everything the right way.
Yeah, indeed, DC. And another thing that's excellent about this whole situation, the article pinpointed and actually spoke about the fact that he's coming back to a team that's better than the team he was last playing on. So he is CJ McCollum and BI has reached another level. Not just those guys, the big names, but guys like Jose Alvarado and the rest of the cast of characters that are there also have improved. So the Pelicans overall have a camaraderie. And that's a big difference. Like the team that he was on, he had to do a lot to help the team win. Not so much on this rendition of the club. So he merely is a centerpiece of the team where he don't have to carry the entire matrix. They operate as a team dynamic and they'll have a lot of success, which he don't have to score 27 points every night for the team to have a chance. So a lot of that the scoring load to be shared among the defensive responsibilities and other things. So the Pelicans are the most complete team. This is the most complete version of the Pelicans that I've ever seen. So, I mean, they have a bench now. They have guys, once they get completely healthy, there will be a force later on in the year. And they're deep. And even some of the younger players, the two-way players, have a lot of potential. So they're a special mix of talent that you can feel the energy. Plus, it helps to make him happy that he got the money. He got paid. All of the talkings about him being hurt and being this disappeared. He's totally healthy in the best shape of his career. He has the max contract, which bats away all of the foolishness that people was lying about, saying he was trying to leave. That's going. So an air of uncertainty has disappeared. And it done evaporated. It disappeared. So with that being said, the Pelicans know that the sky is the limit, and no longer of the media attacking the team trying to rip them apart. Several players got contract extensions. Larry Nance, CJ McCollum, you look at Zion Williamson, and it just goes on and on and on. They are a complete team, and the Pelicans will make some noise. You best to believe they'll make noise in the NBA this year. So he's a force onto himself, and then you have other guys playing too. So it's going to be a very, very interesting situation for the Pelicans this year, and a lot of family members can't wait. All right, so we told them, family, didn't we? We told them for the longest time that the Pelicans are going to be something, and they finally understand. They're starting to say everything that we said now that we said a year ago. They kind of slow in the head. They kind of slow and lagging behind, but that's all right. At least they understand what we're saying. It took them a year to get it, but at least they got it. All right, so DC, are you there, man? You look like you're having sound issues. Can you hear me? All right. Well, DC tries to work and get his sound together. Let's move on to the next article right here, family. And this is the Pelicans making moves here. Pelicans signed Kelan Martin and Javonte Smart, who's an interested player. Remember Javonte Smart from his days at LSU. DC, are you there? Can you hear?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay, good. All right, the New Orleans Pelicans announced today that the team has signed forward Kelan Martin and guard Javonte Smart. In relative move, the Pelicans then waived two-way forward John Butler and guard John Petty Jr. per team policy. Terms of the deals were not disclosed. Now, Martin, 6'5", 230, appeared in 96 NBA games since 2019 with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Indiana Pacers, and Boston Celtics, holding averages of 5.5 points per contest, 2.4 on the rebounds, and 0.6 on the assists. Martin appeared in 30 games, one start last season with Boston and Indiana, averaging just under 6 points a contest, under assists a contest, almost 2 rebounds in 15 minutes a game. Now, Martin played collegiately at Butler, where he averaged 15.1 points per game on 5 rebounds and almost assists and a half across 4 seasons. Now, Smart, who's 6'4", 205, appeared in 17 games with the Bucks and the Heat during the 21-22 season, averaging 3 points a contest. Undrafted in 21, the Baton Rouge native played 3 seasons at LSU, where he averaged 13 points, 3.5 on the rebounds, 3.5 on the assists, 1.2 on the steal in 93 games. So Butler, who they released with the 7'2", 174-pounder, played 1 collegiate year at Florida State, and where he averaged 6 points per game. So they got rid of Butler, man, who actually, when he appeared in 4 games, 2 starts with the Pelicans in the summer league, he averaged 8.5 points per game, almost 4 rebounds in the block, while shooting 12 of 6 for 75% from the floor and 6 of 9 from downtown for almost 67% from downtown. He appeared in 1 game with the Pelicans in 22 preseason, tallying 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 3 blocks. Now, Petty Jr. was 6'5", 184, appeared in 31 games for the Pelicans G League affiliate, the Squadron, in which he averaged 8.5 points on 4.6 rebounds, almost 2 assists, and 26.2 minutes per game. He appeared in 2 games with the Pelicans in the 22 preseason, averaging just a point per contest. So New Orleans roster now stands at 20 players, including 1 two-way player. So there you go, DC. Pelicans announced that they release John Butler. They released Butler, and they also released Petty Jr. in picking up Martin and Smart. So let's get some reaction about that.
I guess they were pretty pissed off about that last preseason game, huh? Everything looked good with Butler and Petty until it was that last game. They didn't really give us much, and then we hit these moves. So, not sure what these guys have been looking like in the preseason. Maybe these were 2 guys we had our eyes on before, and just kind of a little bummed out by the fact that we lost John Butler. Petty, liked having him around too, but John Butler seems like he had real potential if they could put some weight on him, man, with the way he's able to shoot that ball. So I don't know, maybe he's injured and it's a guy we'll swing back to or something. But I like Smart, man. I like the Smart kid. I remember him at LSU. He had 1 game where he came in for Tremont Waters and dropped like 30 points, and helped them win that game. I think that was against Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. I'm glad we picked him up. I don't know a lot about the other brother, so we're gonna have to wait and see with that. But this is the Squadron, and we have high expectations for them too. We're gonna have that game in Birmingham Friday. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be rocking over there, man, and people gonna be happy to see us over there. That's an extension of home right there, 80 maybe 100 miles outside of the city. So good additions. Bad subtraction, in my opinion, Q. Well, 1 good addition. I'm not sure about the other guy. I don't know how much you know about him, but I like the Smart signing. I wish we had just kept Butler instead of whoever else this is, but maybe once I see him play, might change my mind. You there? Can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you there, DC. Yeah, very interesting pickups right here. I like Smart too. I think Smart is a player. I just had some footage of him playing at LSU, man. The guy could play, man. The guy could play. So I like that move. The Pelicans getting a big guard, man, right there. 6'4", has some size, got a good defense, ability to get around the basket and make shots, tough shots. So he's a guy that I like the move to get him. The other brother I'm going to have to look up and do some research on him to find out. But Smart's a good pickup in my book. So anyway, before we get up out of here, DC, Zion Williamson has spoke today at practice. Let's hear what Zion had to say, brother, during practice. It's just a few seconds right here. Thoughts on Zion today from practice. Hit 1 if you can hear, fam.
How would you assess your play so far in the preseason? It's been all right. Room for improvement. Right now, I'm finding my timing, getting my in-game rhythm back, and still learning my teammates.
What are some of the things you and Fred talked about coming off the other night?
Which game?
The one where it felt a little foreign.
There you go. Fred just said, just shoot the ball. I was overthinking it. I think I was just super excited to be out there. I was getting to my spots, but I'm missing. Even at the free throw line, I'm like, I'm so excited. The ball don't even feel the same right now. But came in the gym the next day and got shots up and felt great.
Sounds like there's a chance we see the starting five. I think we're going to see most nights tomorrow in Miami. I mean, how excited are you just to roll with that group this year?
I'm not even gonna say nothing on that because you just never know. They've been cooling. They've been getting themselves together, but I hope so. I'm excited about it though.
Do you think it's important for you guys to get out there in a preseason game and get some rest in, or have you gotten enough in practice?
In a perfect world, yes, it would be good to get out there in the preseason, but I mean, at the end of the day, the season is 82 games, so we'll have time if we don't get to do it for this preseason start or season start.
What did you think of Trey's game the other night and just what he's been doing in preseason, a couple games he's played?
Well, Trey do that. Me and Trey, we click like that. You got a shooter like that, but also the athlete he is. Man, that's hard to guard, especially when people are so locked in on my drive or locked in on BI, locked in on CJ. You got a dead-eye shooter like that. That's a great threat to have.
What's it been like saying that it's been somebody different every game so far, kind of, going in on offense?
That shows how special this team is. Anybody is live to have a big game like that, coming off the bench, starting. And thing is, we're all happy for it. We don't care who does it. We just want to win.
Obviously, you've gotten to watch Herb play defense from the sideline, but being out there on the court, what's it to like watching him defend out there?
That man blocked a shot over a screen. I ain't never seen that. If I seen it, I've seen it from somebody like trying to run and jump through the screen, but that man was stationary and just blocked the shot through the screen. I don't have to say nothing else on that. He's special, man, and his offensive game continues to grow.
And what's it like? How much does it help you, just the versatility?
NBA in trouble, man.
JV or Nance or Jax, or you can throw so many different looks out there next to you.
I mean, that's big for us. The fact that we can throw so many looks out there. Like I said before, it's 82 games. Some games somebody might not be on, but the next person probably is on. So we just got a lot of looks. I be in practice looking around like, man, like we can really throw like 6 to 8 different groups out there.
A living roster.
That's Zion Williamson today, family, talking about what happened in camp today. DC, man, what can I tell you, bro? This is special, man. He talked about
where's the Do It Big campaign when you need it, huh? We should have saved it. We should have saved the Do It Big for this year.
Indeed, bro.
Because everybody's talking about top 5, man. I told y'all, I think the Pelicans gonna be a number 2 seed. I'm thinking top 3. People talking about top 5, but barring injury, man. I mean, look at what happened with the Warriors. I mean, we could even sneak in and steal the number 1 seed if they chemistry ain't right. With everything going on with Draymond, there's reports coming out. He hasn't apologized. Poole ain't accepted his apology, and Steve Kerr is up behind the podium talking about, certain people gonna get left out because we basically gonna sign Jordan Poole. So they got some things going on. But the Pels, man, every step this offseason, man, we've been doing everything possible that we could have did correctly. We re-signed all the guys we need to re-sign. Our team has been working out together in the offseason. We got the right group of guys in there. I think we have enough toughness, grit mixed in with, skill, competitiveness, humbleness. We got guys that don't really get in trouble. They work hard. I mean, it's almost difficult to look for the negatives. Like, what do we have wrong that we need to improve on? The only thing you could think of is we would have said the interior shot blocker or interior defense thing, but watching the preseason, the Pelicans have been phenomenal defensively. So, man, it's gonna be fun to watch. This is gonna be an excellent season to cover, man. I'm gonna be so happy to come here after games and talk Pels because we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, man, and we're gonna have some smiles on our faces. Y'all see Zion every time we see him do an interview? It's a goddamn reason why that boy is smiling every time we see him in an interview. He know what's coming. Every time I see him put a camera in BI faces, they smiling. And CJ just smiling all the time. Man, them dudes know what's coming, man. And we gonna get a glimpse of it on October 19th when Brooklyn, with their dysfunctional ass, come face off against us?
I think I'm gonna keep it a $1.15 with you, DC. That's the only way I can do it, man. I think it's going to still be a learning process for the Pelicans, even though they're undefeated in the preseason. We know a lot of people don't count the preseason, but let me tell you something. Winning in the preseason, winning anywhere in the NBA season, help builds confidence, and it helps bring the team together. I think eventually the Pelicans are dealing with injuries early on. I think that eventually it'll ease itself out, but this team still has to be on the court at the same time and galvanize. I think that's the big part about it. Them finding out how to coexist on the court at the same time, operating Coach Willie system to perfection, doing the best they can do. And I think all of them are bought in. It's a different dynamic, a different energy around the team. So I think that's a part of it. And you can see Zion, he's brimming with excitement and enthusiasm. And I think a lot of it is the fact that he's been used to being the guy that has to come through and carry the team. It'll be a different affair for a lot of our stars this year. As long as they're healthy and they're playing together, they can share the ball. The team can keep and play within Willie's confines, within his system. We're going to have some success. The Pelicans have a bench. We don't have to overwork our players. We can move guys in and out of the lineup like Zion astutely mentioned. So I think it'll be a learning curve at first, but ultimately I think the Pelicans are set on the right track. So one of the family members asked, does Griffin get credit? Shout out to all
boy, I was going to tell you something about that. I knew you was going to see that one, though.
I seen all of them. Yeah, I just got an opportunity to see. Shout out to everybody, man. I see y'all commentary, man. I was just kind of
man. 504 Doc said Griffin gets credit regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we goes on to talk about all the great things Griffin did.
Right, but see, this is the Willie, the WB3. I guess I can give it the disorder, the WB3 disorder, which is looking at it and saying he did this stuff. He got what he deserved. When we were lambasting him over the last several years, he deserved that shit. He got what he deserved. He did credit to him for moving out of the way and not being a micromanager like he was in the past. You got a great staff. We said that at the time. That's documented. He has done a terrific job. Hold on, DC. He's done a terrific job of getting out of the way and allowing guys like Tranger Langdon and Swin and the rest of this good staff that he picked to do their jobs. And as long as he does that, they're going to have success. So I think that was the biggest thing. That's why we teamed him the nickname Octopus, because he had his tentacles everywhere. He's removed his tentacles and allowed his assistants underneath him, or his teammates, or the guys underneath him, to be able to do their jobs and in a less suffocating environment. So I think that was a big positive for Griffin. So if I won't give Griffin any credit, it'll be that, is removing and not being a micromanager and having more faith in the guys that you picked to run the team. And when he did that, he had the success. And we were saying that the whole time. So credit for him doing that, not being a micromanager and trusting more of his staff to get the job done. When he backed away, it was all good. And we knew that the whole time. They were saying that this is a terrific staff. Let them roll, let them get their work, let them handle their business. So yes, indeed, he'll get that credit because he did a fantastic job of picking these people, and not only that, but getting out the way and letting them do their job. So shout out to you for saying that. He'll get his credit this year because the team will win. And as opposed to years past when he picked. See, I still remember all the other shit. I still remember what's his name? Ice Cream Man that came up in here with the Mr. Rocket Road. I remember all that, the Gentry, all that. That was still him now. That was still him. But see, people got selective memories.
The Milwaukee trade of Drew Holiday. I think we really pissed that away.
See, but that'll be forgiven.
We knocked the Lakers trade out the park, and we turned that into everything it should have been and more.
Right. So anyway,
we messed up that Milwaukee trade.
He does get credit after all of that. He does get credit.
But I got a question for you, bro. You went on your little diatribe. I respect it. I know this is a sensitive topic when we talk about this, because you have said for a year and a half that if we turn this around, Zion grows up, BI grows into what he grows into, and we do a few right moves here, boom, bam, pow, Griffin come out the woodworks and get all the credit. But my question to you,
I told you that.
Who's the general manager? Like, everybody always go for Griffin.
Damn.
Last time I checked, bro, I will continue to beat this goddamn drum because this is what I've always said. We are the only team in the NBA where the president of basketball operations get credit for what the general manager does. I don't understand. but I'm not gonna be like that because I'm happy with David Griffin.
I'm just glad
I think everything
letting
he
him work,
did
bro.
this offseason of getting out of the way,
And letting
trusting the
Trajan
people
work.
that he hired to do the right job, man. I think he's done an excellent job. If we stay on this trajectory, the middle of the season, I'm gonna be like, man, shout out to Griff. Be happy about it because we could possibly have set ourselves up to build something really special here, and we need to give Trajan Langdon some credit. We give Willie Green credit. You need to give T Spoon credit. Did we not read this article?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And hear how what a big part
Corey
of this
Brewer,
organization she is. She could have went and got a head coaching job now, y'all. But Zion is very special to her, along with another guy everybody then gave up on, Kyra Lewis. She been wanted to coach him. So she said she got some unfinished business to handle. Man, I think we got championship aspirations when it's all said and done. You're hearing the guys mention it. And I see you too, Mose, in the chat. Mose talking about calm down, man. Hey, fellas, chill with the hyperbole. Just let us ease into the season. And I hear you, Mose, man. And you are a pillar of wisdom over here in the flock, bro. We value your perspective. But after the way they treated us, Mose, talking about we need to sell our team. Zion fat, he a bust. Stephen A pissed because we traded for CJ McCullough. They ain't gonna do nothing. Man, I think it's only right that we had this type of sense of pride and to hold our chests out and put everybody in the blender, man. You know what I mean? There ain't no taking it easy. Nobody took it easy on us, bro. We had a hurricane wiped out 50% of the city. And people just they're daily shitting on the Pelicans, shitting on us, and everything we stand for. This ain't a basketball town. Man, I don't think the flock ain't forgetting none of that. And now that everything is good, all on the up and up, they got to feel that more. But shout out to you though, brother. Be glad to see you when we get you in the chat when we go live another time. But man, we can't give all the credit to Griff. We got to give credit to that whole staff too. Corey Brewer is another guy, man. You go Fred Vincent, you see what he's doing with these guys, improving their shot, and we could go on and on. We'd be here all night, going all the way down to the people who pass out tickets. And if we had Alvin Gentry here, I'm sure he would be passing out some gumbo, and we could have gave him some props too. But I'm excited for the season, man. Like I said, I don't see any missteps or mishaps we've made. I guess you could look at maybe the little, as of recent, the Saints then kind of whatever that little sickness of the injury bug that's going around in their food rubbed off on the Pels a little bit. But other than that, man, everything has been A+. And I think we on our way to an excellent start to the season.
Indeed, man. Much love to the flock. Appreciate all your guys joining for this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. Zion Williamson 2.0 Inside the Dark Days reaction. Went through the entire article. And we covered some news of the Pelican signings as well in this one. So feel free to hit the like button, family, if you hadn't gotten a chance to do it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the show on your social media feed. DC, what's up?
Ain't you glad we ain't building no more fucking walls?
God. It's good. It's good. Glad we got Willie, man. That's all I can say, man.
Ain't you glad we're calling timeouts on fast breaks when you about to score?
Yes. Yes, thank Alvin Gentry. Good Lord, man.
It was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, this is great, man. So yeah, indeed, man. So yeah, it's hard to say, for to tell the family members temper expectations, or not expectations, but their excitement level, because we've been feeling this way since last year. We envisioned the team and knew what they were going to be capable of. It didn't take all of these guys getting healthy for us to say, "Oh, I see it." No, we knew what time it was before it fully manifested, because we knew what they were doing. We knew where they were headed at in terms of getting all of the collection of talent that they have and building a complete team. Also, they did a fantastic job in the trade to get CJ here, who occupying that one position. Of course, we know that the ball handler is relative on the team because you have several other players that are 9 point guard players that handle the ball for the Pelicans, so they can flow the offense in different directions. But the bench was one of the things that I zeroed in, and the Pelicans did a fantastic job of finding guys like Najee Marshall, like Jose Alvarado, that are intense. Jose Alvarado's in his energy level is now that, or if probably greater than what Josh Hart was represent. He might have, over his excitement, enthusiasm level, might have went past Josh Hart, which is hard to believe. But outside of that, they have all these first round draft picks the Pelicans have. They have undrafted guys that play like first round picks and first round picks, or when they ultimately will get together, like Dyson Daniels and Trigger Trey Murphy coming up off the bench. Could you believe that? Billy Hernan Gomez had a great summer with him being the MVP over there in the International League. You had Big V doing this thing. So, I mean, they had probably the greatest offseason coming into this thing that you could possibly have for your team. So it's a great excitement, not just from the family base, but it's just emanating from the team. So it's only a matter of time before you see that the Pelicans are a top 5 team in the NBA, and they're going to show it to you. So, I mean, excitement or not, man, it's you looking at it and you know what time it is. So, and of course, who sits on top of this thing? It's Willie Green in the love doctrine, the guy that doesn't curse, the guy that's a constant model of
you got the freaking fight. Boy, it was so organic too. I ain't never heard nobody say freaking and I ain't crying.
He jolted them.
It sounded normal when he said it.
Yeah. Thanks to Zion telling us that story that he was actually talking to CJ McCollum, according to what Zion was saying. And we found that later on. That was a good tidbit of information that he was directing that at CJ. And then what did CJ do? He responded. The team responded. Right. So this is the thing, man. This team, man, it's an unbelievable collection of people from the top to the bottom. And Coach Willie and the love doctrine sits on top of the Pelicans, man. And they are all bought in. So, I mean, fantastic of all the ways around. And they're a true family. They're a collection of people that enjoy being around each other. If you went to the live practice, them guys was having hot dog eating contests and all type of stuff. You know, it was
them glizzies.
Yeah, it's fun watching them. And you can see they enjoy being around each other. So that'll take it a long way. So you have every goddamn right to feel excited about the Pelicans because you feel the energy, you feel what's about to happen to this NBA. So anyway, with that being said, DC, I'm gonna leave the last thought with you before we dirk out, bro.
Oh man, no thoughts needed, man. I just wanted to add lib off of you, bro. You said more than enough. I'm gonna leave my last little diatribe up there, man. I said everything I got to say, but appreciate everybody in the flock, man. I see you, Damien, bro. Yeah, you know I was on that Jamaican coconut juice, bro. I got that fire mic, you know what I'm saying, made out of coconuts.
That's why
got my vocals sounding all pristine. You know what I mean? I be putting some of that on Big Q vocal sometimes. He be sounding like the black Morgan Freeman up in here.
I thought Morgan Freeman was black.
Well, my bad. The New Orleans Morgan Freeman. That's better. Is that better?
I guess I don't know, DC. I guess that means something from an international player such as yourself. All right. So with that being said, fam, listen, we'll return tomorrow as the Pelicans take on the Miami Heat. 6:30 p.m. Central tip-off time. Wednesday is going down. 2 more games remaining in the preseason before ultimately we get ready for the regular season. That's Miami on Wednesday and Friday. The Atlanta Hawks in Birmingham. At the Legacy building, I think it's called Legacy Arena in Birmingham. That'll be the Pelicans going out there and taking on the Atlanta Hawks. So first up, the Miami Heat, 6:30 p.m. tip-off time Central. That's for me anyway, but depending on where you guys are on the clock. But outside of that, man, we'll have the watch party firing off at that time frame, followed by.
Wait, I think you the Atlanta game is in Birmingham, right? Like you
yeah, the Atlanta
Miami game.
No, the Miami at Miami.
Yeah, Miami's at Miami.
Miami's at Miami, and Atlanta is in Birmingham. Yeah, the Atlanta game will be in Birmingham.
So Zion back in Fort Lauderdale for a couple of days, getting in some extra work.
There you go. There you go. See, it all works out well. All right, so fam, with that being said, we're going to pop out on that. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Please feel free.
Oh, WB3 up in this thing. My bad. Got a shout out. I ain't seen him in a while, man. Look at Willie, man. WB3.
He was listening, and I shouted him out.
Man, look at Willie, man. In a minute.
And Willie changed.
Say, bro, where my peppers at, bro? I thought you was going
to Willie changed.
For the similar spicy ass peppers.
He changed his tag to WB3.
WB3.
He got mad. He used to get mad when we was giving everybody nicknames. Now he got one. He don't know how to act. All right. So with that being said, man, listen, I'm out this thing. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna holler at y'all on the recap of the Miami Pelicans matchup, baby. We about this thing. DC, go ahead and get your go ahead and cook your curry goat. I'm gonna holler at you later.
Oh! I'm going.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever.